Hi, this is Roy D. with Wake Up America, and I've got a show for you today. Just recently to CNN this morning, though I haven't seen it on the air since, was talking about the use of surveillance drones to the tune of 30,000, which are going to be flying over the American skies within the next couple years. And they were talking about privacy issues. Well, let's be very clear. Privacy issues is not the problem here. The problem here is the Constitution. The Constitution clearly states that we should not have unwarranted searches and seizures. Well, unwarranted searches, and we should be secure in our persons and in our effects. Well, can't really do that whenever you got flying drones with technology that be able to see thermal imaging coming right into your living room, seeing where you're at and seeing what you're doing and spying on you. That's unwarranted, and it's wrong, it's illegal, and it's unconstitutional. Just want to add that as kind of a beginning note. One of the things I wanted to talk about was indefinite detention. That's something that's gaining more ground. That's really good. I'm really glad. A lot of you getting that message out there. Indefinite detention is pretty much what was used in the National Defense Authorization Act. Unlike a lot of legislation, this is how they like to do things. First, they will write a little bit of legislation in one part that they like that actually affects another one. And let me explain that. Say, for example, there's the Expatriation Act. What this does is this makes it to where the President of the United States or whoever in the government feels like that they are going to say that you are a terrorist, and they can make you no longer a citizen of America. They can take away your citizenship at will just by calling you an extremist, terrorist, whatever reason. They can call you that, take away your citizenship. Now, a lot of people that are saying that the Indefinite Detention Act is nothing to worry about, doesn't affect American citizens, right? Well, let's look at the piece of legislation which is in the Expatriation Act, which says that they can take away your citizenship. So, of course, it's not going to affect citizens. If they've labeled you a terrorist already, or an extremist, or any kind of unwanted, or whatever they decide to fit you under as far as their label for terrorist, because it's a pretty broad band out there, pretty big spectrum of what terrorism could be. They've pretty much said that people could be terrorists for having more than a 7-day supply of food. Or there's a long list. I'm not going to get into it, but let's just say that they decide to say, hey, you're a terrorist. Well, we're going to use the Expatriation Act. You're no longer a citizen. Oh, and we're coming to your house and we're going to take you, or we're going to kill you by one of those surveillance drones. Because they're thinking about outfitting them with weaponry. Did you know that? Yeah, and I'm not talking about stun guns either. I'm talking about actual guns, bullets. So, let's kind of bring this all together. We have the Expatriation Act, they take away your citizenship. Then they take the Indefinite Detention Act, which says that they can kill you, an American citizen. If they think that you are in line with the terrorists or kind of an extremist group, they can assassinate you. So they could use one of the drones, the surveillance drones, to, blow up your house. Maybe you're walking on the street, walking your dog. Boom. There you go. And you wouldn't even know it hit you, where it came from. Just like that. Down. Or, hey, they don't want to assassinate you, they just want to make your life living hell. Well, they've used the Expatriation Act to say that you're no longer a citizen because they deem you a terrorist. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to come to your house and take you and anybody that's affiliated with you, which could be your family, and take you and without trial, without a lawyer, without a jury, without any of the things that are protected by the United States Constitution, take you to an undisclosed location and torture you and keep you there for the rest of your life if they so feel like it. So you tell me, how do you trust your government? I don't trust it. I haven't trusted it for quite some time. And it looks like they're not trusting us. Because look at all these bills that they're coming up with. I mean, it's kind of hard for them to see that they trust us when they keep coming up with stuff like this that they can use against their citizens. I mean, they're also using the, what is it, that, I can't think of the top of my head, but it's called, it has to do, some people are calling it the anti-protest bill, where basically anyone near a Secret Service person, if they protest, they can be arrested with a felony charge. slapped in prison for 10 years. Just for protesting. And the sneaky thing about the Secret Service people is you don't always know where they are. So you can't protest around important members of Congress, the president especially. So, I mean, there's more and more of these things being taken away from us. So what's the answer? Glad you asked. Here's my answer. Well, there's going to be many answers. But right now, I think we should focus on mostly doing this. And it's simple. And it will keep you committed. Write down, first of all, go find the Declaration of Independence. Find the Constitution. Read it. Enough said there. Go find the Declaration. And then, using the Declaration of Independence, write your own Declaration of Independence. Now, I'm not going to claim this is original idea. Actually, I learned this from Jack Spirko at the Survival Podcast. But I want to use it for a different means. Not just a declaration of independence from the systems of government and from the systems that have you enslaved. I'm talking about from the government itself. The American people have had enough. We're sick and tired of it, and more of us are growing each day. There's more than just 10% unemployment out there, and there's more and more people upset and angry and hungry, and I can tell you that is not a good mix. They're buying up, 450 billion rounds of ammunition? Hollow points, mind you, for Homeland Security. A organization that doesn't supposed to be shooting people at all. That's not what they're designed for. They're not a federal agency. They're not even they're not part of the military. And even the military during wartime is not allowed to use hollow points. So they don't trust us. We don't trust them. It's going to get rough, I think. That's my personal belief. I think it's going to get real tough, and it's going to happen pretty quick. And I see that what they're using with the different parts of the different bills and putting it in one place and another. And then there's the executive orders, these unconstitutional executive orders that Obama thinks that he can just circumvent the whole entire process of the Constitution at will just because he says so. Those are unlawful. And if anybody that actually understands the Constitution, follows it, and obeys it, will clearly see that this is an atrocity, just what this kind of government has been led to be. And it's not just Obama. Don't get me there. It's not just Obama. He's one of the worst, mind you. But really, just slightly ahead of George Bush, Dick Cheney, and a couple of other cronies that have led this government down the toilet hole that it already is. America has to finally bust at some point. And I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be. It could be a decade from now. It could be a couple months. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I'm not one of those tinfoil hat people that has the know-how, has some secret intel. I just see bits and parts that are happening, and I see the signs. I read history. I know what's happened in the past whenever things like this have happened. It's happened plenty of times. Look at Germany. That's the most recent. You think the Germans, all of the Germans were in agreement with the Nazi regime? Heck no. They weren't. But there was a lot of things that Hitler did right before he took over. And you know what? A lot of them are the same thing. Look at the Patriot Act. That was pretty much the same thing he did. This thing with the indefinite detention, I mean, it's not too far away. I mean, look at the many people that we're killing over there. Oh, yeah, all of them are terrorists, I'm guessing. All 1 million of them are not terrorists. Most of those are civilians that are being killed by carpet bombing by those same drones that they're authorizing to use over here. So, what does this mean? This declaration. I want you to write this declaration and write it the way that you would write it if it were you. If you were one of those people sitting there, staring at King George in the face, except this time, it's our government. The Republicans, the Democrats, it's all the same now. Two heads of the dragon, left or right, it's the same beast. Two different heads. All they do is create this kind of dichotomy so that people argue amongst each other and they don't pay attention to what's going on. But write it. Write your own Declaration of Independence. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to send it to my congressmen. I'm going to send it to my senators. And I'm going to make sure that they know how I feel about this stuff. I've already written them in the many times, and I encourage everybody to do the same. But you got to understand, a lot of them agree with what's going on right now. But most Americans don't. You know, it's going to get to a point real soon where it's just going to bust. People ain't going to take it anymore. So, that's the first step, I think. Making a Declaration of Independence for yourself. And then go prepare. Prepare yourself. Prepare your family. I know that it might put you on the terrorist list, but store more than 7 days. Heck, store 3 months, 6 months, whatever you can afford of food. Go online. Hey, I could tell you a good resource is Jack Spirko. I've listened to him for years. Go listen to him about how to prepare. He has the most common sense available on the internet as far as survival skills from all walks of life. Do that. Prepare yourself. Don't know what's going to happen, but you've got to make that choice for yourself. And that's what the Declaration of your independence is for. So, have a good day. Don't think too heavy on stuff. Relax a little bit. Breathe. Write your declaration. Become independent. Become a hero that this country deserves. Thank you.